Diego Symphony has been thrilling audiences now for more than a century, but you're about to see it in a whole new light. Welcome to San Diego, people. This is where it all happens. We're in Symphony Hall at Jacobs Music Center. It is a marvelous place, but it doesn't happen all by itself. You're about to meet some very special people who make all this happen. But first, let's listen to an amazing concert, a rare opportunity when the San Diego Symphony traveled to China.
The symphony traveled to 3 cities, Beijing, Shanghai, and its first stop, San Diego's sister city of Yantai. But the tour was about much more than the symphony's performances. San Diego Symphony came ready to perform music played at the highest level. And in return, the people of Yantai welcomed them with open arms.
Well, I've conducted many interviews, but this is my first with a real conductor, Conductor Ya Ling. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just go ahead and say your name.
Ya Ling.
That sounds beautiful. All right, you passed the test. And with CEO Ward Gill. And Ward, it is a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure.
You know, the great thing is you gentlemen really run the symphony. Ward, you run the whole behind the scenes, and then when it's showtime, you take over. This has been an incredible year this past year. Talk about just the wonderful things that you've been able to do. You've been able to go to China and Carnegie Hall, Let me get your feelings about that.
Well, it's historical for us because, this is the first time the orchestra played in Carnegie Hall, which is, of course, everybody's dream, as a musician dream. And everybody said, well, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And we said, practice. After practice for 10 years, we finally went there. And the response was incredible. Not only we have a sold-out concert with Lang Lang, and also we were very happy that it happened to be Dr. Irvin Jacobs' 80th birthday in celebration. And the New York audience was absolutely so enthusiastic and warm and welcoming us. Just really very, very special. And also to play in that hall, the acoustic in terms of how they can transfer the music and pass it on and move people and stir people's soul. That's something very, very special in that special hall.
Compare Carnegie Hall then to Copley Symphony Hall.
We are also a very, very wonderful hall here. But Carnegie Hall, of course, is every orchestra dream they go there. I mean, whether it's Berlin Philharmonic or Vienna Philharmonic or Concertgebouw or Cleveland, Chicago, they all want to play in Carnegie Hall because it's just something that, they call it prestigious, but also played in New York and things like the major center of art and something like that. This is very, very special for us.
And it's historic. It really is historic. The entire symphony went to China, and that's rare that a symphony gets to travel over there. How did that take place? How tough was that to make happen?
Well, it was tough, but it was very exciting, and we like to call it a friendship tour when we went to China. And we worked with a lady by the name of June Shillman, who was originally from China, and with Yahya, who has a native tongue. He can speak Chinese, the only major music director in the country, in America, of a major orchestra that is able to really speak Chinese.
All right, and we're going to put you to the test about that.
Absolutely.
Right. But, and it was able to get out there, and with our time there, we were able to get among the people as well as perform in the great halls in Beijing and in Shanghai, our sister city of Yantai. And, you were talking before about Carnegie Hall itself. It's something where it's like a tradition. If you can get to Carnegie Hall, it shows your excellence. And it showed the world, this is a world-class orchestra. We now play, the reviewers have said, this orchestra has arrived. And that's what Yahya has done with us artistically. So it was hard, but we raised all of the funds to do it. We had great artists with us on the tour to China. We had Joshua Bell, Augustine Hadalik, 2 of the biggest names in our industry, as well as the Lang Lang that we had in New York. So it was really a coming out party to the world. The San Diego Symphony has musically arrived.
When we went there, as Ward mentioned, it's a friendship tour. We're not just giving a concert, we also go to the community. We visited a children at risk, we went to hospital, we went to conservatory. I gave master class, the musician gave master class, and I can give master class in Chinese, which is very nice actually, that they can understand directly without any translation.
So give us a little introduction, or what would you say in Chinese? Welcome everybody to the San Diego Symphony. Go ahead.
欢迎你们来到圣地亚哥的演奏会。
That sounds beautiful. All right, and I didn't even have to conduct you on that. Yeah. What about this coming season? I mean, you've done some spectacular things last year, but this year, I noticed there's a lot of incredible things that you're going to be doing. Different kinds of musical events that really reach out to the community.
Yes. First of all, we have this wonderful your story, your song things that we are going to present, not only Complete Symphony Hall, and also have the input from many, many different aspects of the community that gave that and put it together by Bill Conti. It was just wonderful that we're going to do that in July 9 as a premiere, and then we also doing many, many times the performance to reach out to different community. And also, as you know, that we have done a lot of in the educational, because especially we need to expose our young people to the classical music, especially the cut back a lot of school system in teaching the classical music in their classroom. So every year, basically, we reach out to more than 60 to 65,000 children, not only bringing them to Copley Symphony Hall, but also we have a musician go out to school and give them like demonstration and things that they could understand, like one-on-one talk and things like that. So that's very important for us, that could reach out to the community in that way, and not only just presenting a concert to the subscribers.
We've also been asked to go up to Palm Desert, really on a mini tour up there, so they want to hear this great symphony go out there and play at the McCallum Hall there. So it's exciting. People really want to be part of the San Diego Symphony, as Yahya said, educationally. We're out there, and the people are hearing about it.
Yeah, when they hear you in concert, and the young people come up, does anybody say, yeah, I really want to be a conductor? Usually they want to play violin, or they want to play an instrument that is featured in the orchestra, but what about actual conducting?
Yes, some young people have come to say, I was inspired. One day I want to become like you, stand out in front of the podium. But I always tell them, please take your time, because you need to study your instrument first. Because as I was told before when I was young, I was a pianist before I became conductor. You have to master one instrument and then know so much about the music. And then when you after you master the instrument and then you earn the experience, your lifetime experience, you stand up other people, because you have to lead about 100 or 120 musicians sometimes, and all of them are very trained, well-trained, and some of them very experienced, and you have to tell them what your idea about the composers want, the intention, and what your interpretation of the music.
Give us a standard 4/4 time.
That's standard 4/4.
Fantastic. And we're out of time, but we're going to be coming back right here on San Diego People. Welcome back to San Diego People. You know, summer would be nothing without the Summer Pops, and that means the San Diego Symphony, and they are on full roll this coming summer season. And I have with me Ward Gill, he's the CEO of the San Diego Symphony, and also Ellen Zinn, the co-chair of Tux and Tennies. Ward, how excited are you about this season?
Unbelievable. I wait for our Summer Pops every single year, and this is going to be our best year ever. 10 weeks. We really go from the 4th of July weekend, if you will. Actually, it'll be starting, June 27th, and go all the way through Labor Day, and it is never better than this year. Perfect sights, the ships coming in and out, the skyline, the sunsets, the perfect weather, only in San Diego.
And rock and roll. I mean, the San Diego Symphony this year for Summer Pops is getting into the roots of rock and roll and the Elvis and even the Beatles.
Absolutely. We open up with the whole piece with Beatlemania, and I'm going to have Ellen talk in a bit here about our Tux and Tennies with the Elvis. And we go through everything. We have Cashed Out, with his Johnny Cash tribute that we have coming up, and we have Ozo Motley coming up, which is a Cuban fusion group, you know, as well as some of our great programs. We always have the 1812 Overture finale, and we bring in the big cannons, and we have our opening 4th of July weekend with Bill Conti and our Salute to America and our military. It just goes on and on.
I feel my temperature rising.
Our Tux and Tennies this year is going to be amazing.
I would suggest you ditch the tux and bring your Elvis outfit, because we're going to put on quite a show. We're going to have Elvis impersonators. We're going to have showgirls. This is a great party where people can come, have wonderful cocktails, food done by Sequan Casino. They're doing their wonderful seafood buffet. And then we go and sit down. We hear the Symphony put on a fabulous 20-minute concert. Then we have Elvis. It's marvelous. I mean, they're so funny. They're all dressed up. Everybody gets up. Everybody just has a grand old time. Then we end with beautiful fireworks.
You said wild and crazy. When people think of the San Diego Symphony, they generally don't think wild and crazy, but Ward, how wild is this going to be?
It is wild and crazy, and I have to say, and it's for the great cause. It's for raising funds, if you will, for music education, which we're finding so deficient in the community today. We're out to over 65,000 students, and we are out there. But, you know, we want people to come. As Ellen was saying, there is the food, there are the beverages, there's an incredible performance. It's down there, if you will, on the Embarcadero Marina Park South. And you can pick your era of Elvis you like. Maybe the bobby socks or the tight pants, or maybe the jumpsuit. I mean, we like to have a good time, and it's wonderful.
Well, we're going to have our gaming tables out there with celebrity dealers, people who are very important and quite impressive here in town. And afterwards, we'll have an after party with these things as well. But it's such a wonderful cause. And one thing that the Pops do that's so important is it brings people who would not come in here to Symphony Hall out to hear the symphony. The orchestra is just mind-boggling. They have never been better. And we have a Tier 1 symphony now, which is not common across the country. So the chance to hear them and have a great deal of fun at the same time is quite special. And that goes on all summer, even if you're not coming to Tux and
Okay,
Tennies.
one question. Ward, this is for you. When everything gets wild and crazy, is the audience going to be allowed to jump up and kick back all the chairs and just turn it into a melee?
Well,
Dancers?
I don't know, Dave, but we might be willing to consider it if it gets wild and crazy enough. You know, as we look at this, I think one of the things that the Symphony has done over the years is just to relax and get people involved. If you think about how broad our base is now, I mean, our Summer Pops, we are out to over 80,000, 85,000 people right now, and it's all communities are invited, as I was mentioning earlier. And you know, whether we bring in our Broadway show, or as I mentioned, our 4th of July, we've got Vanessa Williams coming, it's great. And then the fun thing we have coming up is during Comic-Con, we have a special set of programs that we have. We have Danny Elfman's music, which people have heard, they may not know his name. That's the Tim Burton movies, you know, Edward Scissorhands.
Batman and everything.
All of it, it's just so cool. So, you know, we've got these great programs coming up. We have Star Trek, the second version. I mean, I'm still from the first version with the Captain Kirk, but for the younger generation, that's there, and it's the movie up on the screen, but the orchestra plays. So you're able to hear live, world-class music, as Ellen said, but see some of these programs that are absolutely amazing. And the kickoff with the Tux and Tennies, I mean, what can be better than that? It all goes to the right cause, and a good time's had by all.
When I was growing up, I spent my summers in Beverly Hills at my aunt and uncle's house, and Elvis Presley lived next door with Priscilla.
You've got to be kidding me.
So my sister and I used to drag the garden ladders over and climb up and peep over the hedge and watch him play tennis. He played doubles with 3 other guys, and he always won. So we thought he was good. We were young, I might add.
Unbelievable, Ward.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, mine's a little more distant. I'm originally from Minneapolis, and I saw the Beatles when they first came to the States, and they played in a place called Metropolitan Stadium. It was the baseball stadium in Minneapolis, and I had a front row seat, and I still never quite understood all the screaming and yelling that was going on, but, you know, I was trying to get into it. I was a little young at the time, but I've seen them, saw them live, and I've seen this group that we have coming up, which is the tribute group. And I swear, when the people come, they're going to say, wait, that's really what they looked like. And they will have an amazing time.
So, Ward, I have to ask you, is everybody welcome to Tux and Tennies, the Summer Pops?
Absolutely. Everybody in San Diego, we want them at our Summer Pops, and everybody is actually welcome to come to Tux and Tennies. You know, it'll be June 27th. You're all welcome. We have just the performance portion if people just want to hear the music, or they can come to the whole event with the dinner and the hors d'oeuvres and the whole event. And the best way to get the details is go to our website, www.sandiegosymphony.com or .org.
And we hope you get a chance to see everything that's going on at this year's Summer Pops right here on San Diego People. Imagine your song, your story being recorded and played by the San Diego Symphony. Well, that's why we're coming up here to the second floor of the Jacobs Music Center to meet somebody who has put it all together. It's a brand new, one-of-a-kind, innovative project called Your Song, Your Story. And the lady who put it all together is waiting for us here on the grand tier. Her name is Leonor Perez. Leonor, nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Wow, this is beautiful up here.
Thank you.
Explain to us, what exactly is Your Song, Your Story?
Your Song, Your Story is an initiative of the San Diego Symphony as an effort to reach out to the community at large, especially the diverse community. So we put out a call for videos of cultural songs, stories, and dances. We collected 320 of them, and we handed them over to our composers so that we can co-create an original symphonic piece.
Wow. You know, you can kind of hear what Bill Conti has been doing all this time. He's actually been taking everything and putting it into one big composition?
Well, not everything. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fit it all in. We worked with the community committee to reduce these videos down to about 75 that we thought would reflect the community at large, and then we passed that on to Bill Conti. He took that and reduced it further and took some artistic license in creating the current Your Song, Your Story piece.
Now, Leonor, get ready, because I had the great opportunity to speak with Bill via Skype and see how he's coming along. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's see how he's doing.
Okay.
Oh, Bill, you've got to be so excited about this project that you're doing. What are you doing? It's an immense project. You're trying to take all of this stuff and make like a music soup.
Well, now, wait a minute. Let's hope that it's a thick soup rather than a thin soup, because, you know, the thick soups are healthier. The idea, of course, was a little bit, I'm going to say odd, because we're supposed to engage the community with the San Diego Symphony in the inverse order. In other words, instead of inviting everyone to come hear Mozart and Bach and Beethoven, we said, or they said, the mission, I think, of the foundation and the grant was that they, the people of San Diego, would submit their songs, their stories, their dances, their artistic material, and then we in the San Diego Symphony would make sense of all of this and commune together. So I was engaged as the composer to amalgamate, make sense of, and actually create a performance that would be memorable. That was the goal. Now, we're going to have memorable performances, and we hope to have many people. Well, it began over 300. A committee selected about 70, and then I worked it into some 20-something between live performances and video performances of these submissions, all with the San Diego Symphony in a 24-minute, I want to say performance because a film, there's film from beginning to end, but there are live performances of some of the submissions. The people, a girl playing the guitar, sitting in the middle of the audience, taiko drummers on stage, dancing, Tahitian dancing girls. All of this will make sense.
What was tougher, writing the theme to Rocky or trying to make heads or tails of all of this?
This, making heads or tails of it, when when you understand that it's kind of like an opera that the people have submitted. In other words, the people sat down and wrote an opera, and all I had to do was make sense out of it. Was easier than when they said, this is the 10th reel of Rocky, and he's just going to train and work out for the big fight, so we need some music.
Can you give us a taste there on your piano at all of any idea that you have, or are you actually composing some of the glue to these pieces?
I'm definitely composing some of the glue, meaning the introductions and the joiners, and every orchestration will be mine. Every accompaniment, every piece of original music will be mine. But we have some pretty incredible songs and written material and poems submitted by the people of San Diego. And it's something to experience. It becomes a mixed media event because of the live performances and the ones that are on screen. And then there's always the San Diego Symphony, which will be exciting. I can't actually sit and play you something that would have to be visualized and someone playing on the stage, someone playing in the audience. It's pretty complex.
All right, Bill. Unbelievable what you're doing, and we wish you all the best. Just go ahead and put your hands on the piano. Give us some kind of sound of the mishmash that you have to work with.
You just want to know it's a real piano, right?
Yes.
Leonora, I love the grand tier up here. It must be difficult for Bill to try and put together all of those compositions into one.
Well, it is a lot of work, and it does take a lot of creativity, but if anyone can do it, Bill can do it.
We're probably going to hear his composition one day inside this hall here. When do you expect that to happen?
We're going to start these performances on July 9th, and we're going to have them at two places, thank you, that the symphony audiences are normally used to coming to, which is Symphony Hall, and also the Embarcadero South, where we normally have our Summer Pop series. The other two sites are the Kroc Center, which is East County, and then South Bay Lincoln High School.
So people have more than one opportunity to hear it.
Absolutely, and if they love it, they can come back and see it again. All the information will be on our website, yoursongyourstory.org.
Now, this is something that you're the project manager on, but it's taken a lot of people to put together all of this, hasn't it?
It has, and we're very proud to have engaged so many people from different backgrounds, from different parts of San Diego County, to put in their 2 cents in terms of how this should be put together, and that was the objective. That was why Irvine funded us, so that we can create something that was a co-creation that included both the symphony and the diverse community in San Diego County.
And also because this has never been done before.
Absolutely. There's a lot of other orchestras and projects where they have engaged maybe one genre or one community and the symphony. What makes this different is that we're engaging many communities. So it's going to be a wonderful celebration of songs, stories, and dances.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on San Diego People.